Welcome back to my channel, Rare Coin World. Today we are going deep into the story of the 1967 Lincoln penny, one of the most fascinating coins in American numismatic history. At first glance it might look like just another cent, but hidden within this small copper coin lies a story of change, innovation, and a turning point in US coinage history. If you've ever found a 1967 penny in your collection or pocket change, don't underestimate it, because what it represents goes far beyond its face value. The year 1967 was a period of transition and tension for the US Mint. Just a few years early, the nation had faced a severe coin shortage, which had disrupted everyday commerce. This shortage, caused largely by people hoarding silver coins after their metal content became more valuable than their face value, forced the mint to rethink how it produced money. In response, the US Mint temporarily suspended mint marks from all coins between 1965 and 1967, including the Lincoln cent. That's why, unlike most other years, your 1967, the 1967 Lincoln penny was struck at all three major mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, but since mint marks were omitted, it's impossible to tell where a particular coin originated. This was done intentionally to discourage collectors from hoarding certain mint varieties during the shortage, allowing the mint to get more coins back into circulation. Now, let's talk about its design, which carries deep historical significance. On the obverse, you'll see the timeless portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design was first introduced in 1909, marking the centennial of Lincoln's birth. Brenner's portrait was revolutionary for its time. It was the first US coin to feature a real person, and not an allegorical figure like Liberty. Over half a century later, in 1967, that same portrait continued to symbolize American freedom, unity, and the enduring legacy of one of the nation's greatest presidents. The reverse of the 1967 penny features two wheat stalks curving inward along the edges, hence the name wheat penny for earlier years. However, by 1959, this design had been replaced with the Lincoln Memorial reverse, created by Frank Gasparro to celebrate Lincoln's 150th birthday. So the 1967 penny proudly displays the Lincoln Memorial with the tiny, intricate detail of the statue of Lincoln visible inside the monument, a feature that remains one of the smallest yet most meaningful details ever placed on US currency. The composition of the 1967 penny is 95% copper and 5% zinc, a formula used for decades before the major metal change in 1982. Each coin weighs 3.11 grams and has a diameter of 19 millimeters. Because of its high copper content, the coin has a rich reddish-brown tone when new, though over time many have developed a beautiful patina or dark luster, giving each one a unique character. Today, we are diving deep into the fascinating story of the 1976 Lincoln penny, a small copper coin that carries within it the spirit of a historic year for the United States. At first glance, it may look like any ordinary penny from your pocket change, but the 1976 Lincoln cent is more than just a 1-cent piece. It's a symbol of America's bicentennial celebration, a milestone that marked 200 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And while the penny itself didn't receive a special commemorative design like other denominations that year, its story is one of resilience, patriotism, and change during a defining moment in American history. The year 1976 was monumental. Across the country, celebrations erupted to honor 2 centuries of American independence. The US Mint released special bicentennial designs for the quarter, half dollar, and $1 coins, each featuring dual dates, 1776 to 1976, and unique patriotic imagery. Yet interestingly, the Lincoln penny remained unchanged, while other coins proudly displayed new reverse designs to celebrate the bicentennial. The humble penny continued to carry the same image it had worn since 1959. Lincoln Memorial. This decision wasn't made out of neglect, it was deliberate. The penny already honored one of the most beloved presidents in U.S. history, Abraham Lincoln, whose leadership preserved the Union and solidified the very ideals the bicentennial celebrated. By keeping the penny's design intact, the mint ensured that Lincoln's legacy stood as a silent reminder of the nation's endurance through struggle, unity, and progress. On the obverse side we see Victor David Brenner's timeless portrait of Lincoln, which first appeared in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of his birth. By 1976, that design had already been in use for 67 years, and yet its simplicity and dignity still captured the admiration of millions. Lincoln's gaze, firm and thoughtful, seemed to look beyond time itself, embodying hope and leadership during the nation's bicentennial year. The reverse side of the 1976 penny features the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparro. Introduced in 1959, this design replaced the earlier wheat ears motif. Gasparro's design was not only patriotic but deeply symbolic. The Lincoln Memorial itself had been dedicated in 1922, serving as a national monument to equality, freedom, and unity values that resonated even more powerfully in 1976. Look closely and you can even see a tiny engraving of the Lincoln statue between the central columns, a miniature tribute within a tribute. The composition of the 1976 Lincoln penny remained the same as it had for decades: 95% copper and 5% zinc. It weighed 3.11 grams and measured 19 millimeters in diameter. But what many collectors don't realize is that this was among the final generations of true copper pennies. Just a few years later, 1993 Lincoln penny lying somewhere in your drawer or coin jar. You might want to check it closely, because this tiny copper-colored coin could actually turn the tables for you. It might look ordinary, but some versions of the 1993 Lincoln cent have been sold online for hundreds and even thousands of dollars. Stick around until the end of this video, because I'll reveal how much this coin is really worth according to eBay, major auctions, and collector platforms, and at the end, I'll also tell you how you can find out its selling procedure. The 1993 Lincoln penny holds an interesting place in modern U.S. coinage history. It was struck during a period of major economic change, and it continued the legacy of one of America's longest-running coin designs, the Lincoln cent, which began in 1909. By 1993, this coin had already seen multiple transitions, both in its materials and minting techniques. The design itself pays tribute to Abraham Lincoln, the nation's 16th president, whose portrait, by Victor David Brenner, first appeared on the penny to mark the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. On the obverse of the 1993 penny, we see that same iconic portrait of Lincoln, dignified and determined, facing right with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the year 1993 positioned around him. Depending on the mint where it was produced, you'll also find a small mint mark under the date. The reverse of the coin features the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparro in 1959. It replaced the earlier wheat ears design that had adorned the reverse for half a century. The memorial design itself is filled with symbolism if you look carefully. You can even see a tiny image of Lincoln's statue between the central columns. Above it, the words United States of America and E Pluribus Unum are inscribed, with 1 cent at the bottom. By 1993, the Lincoln penny was no longer made of mostly copper. Since 1982, the U.S. Mint had switched to a copper-plated zinc composition due to rising metal costs. So the 1993 Lincoln cent is composed of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper, weighing just 2.5 grams lighter than the earlier copper cents that weighed 3.11 grams. This transition marked the start of a new generation of pennies that were cheaper to produce but also more prone to wear and corrosion now, even though billions of these pennies were minted in 1993, making them very Common in circulation, certain rare. Examples have shocked collectors and online buyers alike. What makes these coins valuable are specific minting errors. High grades and flawless. Conditions that turn them from everyday. Change into collectible treasures, for example. Coins struck from worn or misaligned dies, double die errors. Or off-center strikes can bring serious money. One 1993 D penny with a strong double die obverse, showing doubling on Lincoln's profile and inscriptions. The 1998 Lincoln penny. That simple 1-cent coin you probably have lying somewhere in your drawers or wallets has shocked collectors with some unbelievable values. If you think pennies are worthless, you're about to change your mind. Stay with me till the end of the video because I'll reveal exactly how much this coin is worth according to eBay auctions and online platforms and how you can sell yours for maximum profit. The 1998 Lincoln penny belongs to one of the most fascinating chapters in US coin history. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this coin carries the same classic image of President Abraham Lincoln that first appeared in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of his birth. By 1998, the Lincoln cent had already been in circulation for nearly 9 decades, yet it remained one of the most recognized and beloved coins in America. But what makes this particular year's penny stand out isn't just its design. It's the small, easily missed details that have made collectors hunt for it passionately. The 1998 penny was struck at 2 Mints, Philadelphia, which produced coins without a mint mark, and Denver, which marked its coins with a small d under the date. Most of these coins were made of copper-plated zinc, weighing 2.5 grams and measuring 19 millimeters in diameter. On eBay and major coin auction sites, these wide AM pennies have fetched staggering prices, depending on the condition. Even circulated coins have sold for between $100 to $500, while uncirculated or mint state examples can reach thousands. There have been documented cases where in 1998, wide AM penny graded MS67 by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, sold for over $5,000 at auction. Imagine finding one of those in your old change jar. What might seem like an ordinary cent could actually be your ticket to an unexpected payday. But the story doesn't end there. Some 1998 pennies also have double die errors, where parts of the coin, especially the inscriptions like Liberty or IN God We Trust, appear slightly doubled due to a misalignment in the die during striking. These double die errors are rare and highly collectible, depending on the grade and visibility of the doubling. These error coins can be valued from a few $100s to several thousand, particularly if professionally authenticated. Online marketplaces such as eBay, heritage auctions, and great collections have shown an incredible range of prices for the 1998 penny. A regular 1998 D penny in uncirculated condition might sell for just a few dollars, but the moment a collector spots an error or a wide AM variety, the value skyrockets. Some listings even show buyers paying thousands for pristine examples with full red luster and sharp detail. This proves that the key to unlocking your coin's potential lies in its condition and rarity. The 1991 Lincoln penny, the 1-cent coin that most people overlook, yet collectors on eBay and other auction platforms are paying surprising amounts of money for. Stay with me till the end of this video because I'll reveal its real value, how you can identify if your penny is rare, and how to sell it for the highest price possible. The 1991 Lincoln penny is part of one of the longest-running coin series in U.S. history, the Lincoln cent, which first appeared in 1909. This iconic design by Victor David Brenner features the image of America's beloved President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. For more than 8 decades, by 1991, the Lincoln cent had become more than just currency. It was a symbol of national pride and history that circulated in millions of hands every day. The 1991 penny was produced at 2 major U.S. mint locations, Philadelphia and Denver. The Philadelphia version has no mint mark. while the Denver penny bears a small d below the date. These coins are made from copper-plated zinc composition, introduced in 1982 to replace the original 95% copper cents as copper prices had soared too high for the mint to sustain. Each coin weighs 2.5 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter. But what separates a valuable 1991 penny from a common one is not its composition, it's the rarity of its condition, errors, and unique striking details. Now, let's talk about what makes this coin special in the collector's market. Most 1991 pennies are still worth just a cent or two, but a small number with exceptional qualities or minting errors have become highly desirable. Collectors pay close attention to error varieties, like double dies off center strikes and missing letters in inscriptions. Some of these unique mistakes occurred during production when the die pressed the design slightly off target, or when the coin planchet wasn't perfectly aligned. Such errors make every affected coin one of a kind. One of the most notable varieties found in the 1991 Lincoln penny series is the double die obverse. In this, many coin collectors also look for what are called transitional errors, where leftover planchets from earlier years are accidentally used in later minting runs. If a 1991 penny was mistakenly struck on a copper planchet instead of the standard zinc one, its value would soar exponentially. Such copper-based transitional errors can sell for thousands of dollars, especially when verified by professional grading authorities. When we turn to actual market data, eBay listings for 1991 Lincoln pennies show a wide range. Circulated examples might go for under $1, but when you filter by sold listings and look for graded or error coins, the prices jump dramatically. Some uncirculated 1991 day pennies have sold for $50 to $200 depending on their shine and condition. Meanwhile, certified mint state coins have sold at auction houses for well over